Hello, guys. I said that I thought I had an idea of what was going on here, and this is it in a very short version. So it's to do with quantum mechanics, physics, aliens, and simulation theory. You're gonna think I'm crazy. I did say that. They ran an experiment once called a double slit experiment, where they put particles through two slits and put a screen for them to hit. Long story short, the particles formed a wave and hit the wall in a wave where they weren't expecting them to. They were expecting them to hit in two straight lines as they should going through these slits. It basically turns out that they can alter their own state. They can go back in time and predetermine what they were going to do, even though they didn't do that in the first place. It's very strange, but they set up an observation and saw these particles going through differently to what they were at different points. So theoretically, they were going back and changing their own state. So with that in mind, of changing their own state, it leads us on to simulation theory. Simulation theory, scientists believe we're 50-50 whether we're in a simulation theory or not. So they put it as in the world renders what we see and not the whole thing in a hit. So the universe is very big and vast. We can't see, hence it's all pixelated as such and not rendered correctly or properly. So with simulation theory, it's about how we already run our own simulations to determine different outcomes, whether we add something, whether we take something away, whether we do different things, we run our own simulations. And this is one of those where they believe that maybe this is a simulation. If we can create a simulation, then we could already be in the simulation, if that also makes sense. Aliens. Now, aliens are widely believed not to come from outer space. They're believed to be here on the planet already, living another form of being that we don't know about. Few people believe that they're a different form of intelligence, a different form of life, maybe even a higher dimension, so we can't even see them or comprehend them because we live in three dimensions. Anything above that we would not be able to understand anyway, not even the smartest minds. So with all those squashed together and pushed together, it's about the altering the state, the different dimension, different beings. I guess one example of this is the Jinn spirit that is believed to not actually be a spirit at all. It's believed to be a different form of life, a different life form that many Arab cultures believe that can take the shape of animals, can take the shape of humans, and a lot of them are actually very scared of this. And 1.6 billion people actually believe in jinns and research jinns and warn their children about jinns. So this is just it's based on the Christianity version of good and evil, where jinns are both at the same time. So the best example of the jinn is in the story of 1001 Nights, or as we know, Arabian Nights, the story of Aladdin, where a boy frees a jinn from a glass bottle. The jinn is very angry of being stuck in that glass bottle, but then ultimately helps the young man in his achievements. So it's once again a different life form, a different understanding. See, a jinn isn't a spirit of a dead person. It's a different being altogether. They can interact here with us, but they have their own realm, it's believed. So could all of this be, whether you want to call it a glitch in reality, whether you want to call it a different being, whether you want to call it something that can alter its own state? I did say when I first started doing this that I was researching energies and the footprints left by energies by people. I do believe that we all leave our own footprints here, and that stays in energy form. You know, you put a lot of love and energy into a house, into a garden. When you die, I do believe that the energy is still there. You know, you're still present as such. But I've really struggled when I've gone down the paranormal ghost route to try and find any evidence to suggest that, especially here with this place I'm talking about, that is the case, being the history of this place and the history of the land. And I'm trying so hard to comprehend what's going on, to make sense of it, that I've just basically made myself go crazy and start looking at quantum mechanics and simulation theory and aliens. And I know it's strange, and you're going to think I'm crazy, and I did say that, but it is, when you look into it, when you go down into each of these different rabbit holes, some of the stuff does actually make sense, and it could work in real world situations, i.e., with the stuff that's going on in this house. So that is the short and long of it. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully you don't think I'm too crazy. Cheers, guys.